the champion himself,
So,
the mad genius, David Thomas. How's it going?
not bad.
Let's go in a little bit so everyone can see you on camera.
Yep, put the trophy up there. Let
Yeah,
us
put
see
the trophy
it.
up to show how
Beautiful.
awesome you are. How does it feel? Top 8 in Nashville, top 4 here. Finally pulled it out in Legacy.
It was a progression. Top 8 first, then top 4, then finals and win.
Beautiful.
Yeah, certainly feels good.
Yeah,
I bet.
like I had the trophy taken away from me in Star City Open Legacy Atlanta in March, and I really wanted a trophy.
Yeah.
So it feels really good.
Finally get to hoist one. Tell us about your deck, though. Rug Delver Secrets.
Yeah.
Basically, I saw the results from last weekend.
Yep.
I normally play Dredge, and I just decided to play a different deck. And this deck looks pretty fun and cool. And I just basically took a bunch of the list. And I don't like playing Counterbalance top in this type of deck, but it turns out I wish I had. Well, I guess not now, but like but the deck's really tempo oriented. And, I really like this. The Temporal Spring should probably go. It's really cute. It won me one game today.
Really, what happened?
It tricked an ad nauseum player into making a bad play.
What?
I Temporal Springed his land. He quickly untaps, plays it, then plays Threshold and Cabal Ritual into ad nauseum. Takes 15, then or takes enough damage to put him at 5. But if he hadn't played a land for the turn, he could kill me, which is what he had thought. So he just stops it there, then picks up his stuff, and then he tries to play a land. Said, "You played your land." I spring. He said, "Oh shit." Then plays out the spells. Says go. Lightning Bolt and Snapcaster. Lightning Bolt to kill him.
Wow.
So Temporal Spring, key to one victory.
So every other match, actually every match, you got sideboard.
Yeah,
now.
Right.
But we watched you on camera 3 times, and every time we were like, I bet he's sideboarding out that Temporal Spring.
Yeah, but the main deck Life from the Loam was really good.
Seemed like it, yeah.
I really don't think I'd change anything out of the board. I might change the Temporal Spring. If I were to play this deck again, I'd probably change the Temporal Spring to a Sylvan Library in the main, because when I sideboarded that card was really good.
So another source of card draw in the main deck in addition to life.
The deck really lacks. Like against the slower control decks, you have no real card draw other than Brainstorm. So if the game goes real long, they're probably going to get you.
Tell us about your game 2 in that match. That was... People were just going nuts when you surgical extracted that Underground Sea. What were you thinking? What was your strategy?
I figured because I had a double wasteland, I knew he had 4 Underground Seas in his deck. If I surgical extract his Underground Seas and wasteland him, he has to find another way to hit double black for him to Torak, so that hand's slightly more protected. Also slightly hoping to Mana Room, hoping he kept a landlight hand, which. Because his deck can easily function off of it with Dark Confidants, Brainstorms.
Right.
So, I wish I'd gotten lucky with that hand because that would have been kind of cool.
Yeah.
But
you drew the Life in the Loam, which is kind of basically
the one loam.
But it was pretty fun. He was freaking out pretty hard about that. Like, he didn't know what was going on. Like, and then when I started restracted the deltas, he was freaking out about that one pretty hard too.
Yeah.
But like I didn't think I was actually going to be in that game once he took the Delver with the Thoughtseize.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly didn't seem like it. When you went for that surgical extraction, it was just like, what? Nobody had considered that play except for Mad Genius yourself.
Yeah, Twitter blew up at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, I figure, if I have any shot of winning the game, I need to buy time.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it was your one shot of winning the game, and if you hadn't drawn that Loam, you might have done it.
So, I don't know. It all worked out in the end. I'm pretty happy about it. So.
How about your sideboard? Anything in there you would change?
No, it's really good. I like the Corrosion Grips are really good, especially since Counterbalance is getting more and more popular.
Yeah, that's a big one this weekend.
Yeah, that card was really good for me the entire weekend. I played against Affinity round 1, and it was strictly worse than Ancient Grudge, but it still killed things. So
sure,
that's all that really mattered.
So talk to us about Delver Secrets, a card that has seen a lot of play.
Terrible until everyone told me to play it, and I saw people playing it. It's pretty much a 1-mana 3/2 that occasionally attacks for 1 once.
It looked insane when you were playing it all day. I mean, I wasn't a fan, and then after watching you.
Like, this deck, it can make this deck go really aggressive, and it's playing, like, when you're playing the tempo game, all you have to do is drop that. Then either mess with their mana, or counter their spells, or mess with their mana and counter their spells, kill the creatures. And it just goes there. Like, it's pretty much 1-mana 3/2 for blue. I mean, blue doesn't need that.
Wild and the Coddle and Blue the Flash. Yeah, sure, why not?
It was pretty good. But I think what's sad is the most underperforming creature in the deck was Tarmogoyf.
Really?
That's pretty
Once
silly.
the best creature in Legacy, now playing 3rd flute here.
Yeah.
How about Snapcaster Mage?
This is insane. If I could play 8, I would.
Wow.
The card did so many different things. it gives you so much value out of all your spells, like specifically with Brainstorm, especially when you stifle their first fetch land, and then like wasteland them on not waste then you stifle their another fetch land with a Snapcaster. It can just be a blowout. But there's so many different things you can do with it. Like even playing it as a 2-1 isn't terrible because sometimes you have to, but it's really good.
Yeah.
How were the stifles for you? We were watching a lot of your matches and we're curious how those have performed for you on the day.
They were insane in about 70% of my matches. The other 30% they didn't have anything for me to do. I mean it's fine. It's kind of a risky take playing this deck because this deck is really aggressive in its strategy, and it really only does one thing. And if it doesn't do that thing, you're probably screwed.
Speaking of that, what are your matchups like? What do you want to play against, not want to play against?
I'm actually not sure. This is the first time I've ever played this deck.
All right, well, that's certainly a testament to its power right there.
Yeah.
But it was really strong. I don't want to play against, like, any slow control. Like, Jerry Thompson's list, he beat me 2-0 on camera earlier.
Yeah.
I don't want to play against that deck. Like, playing against him was the worst. Because I have to pretty much draw infinitely better than he does. Because if the game goes long, I lose. Game 1, Punishing Fire kills everything except for Tarmogoyf. That's terrible. So, I can't really mana screw that deck either.
But he's 24 lands.
Yeah, 24
right?
lands, so it's really hard to get him on that. And he has plenty of basics to go off of.
But momentum in your favor. Somehow you pulled out that match.
Yeah, the double Tarmogoyf play was really, really important. So, but I think if there was a favorable match, it'd be anything that involves lots of basics and fetches.
Did you lose any matches today?
Just to Jerry.
Just to Jerry, yeah. Just that one. Let's look at some questions. Let's see what we people are wanting to know.
Oh yeah, definitely. What was the toughest matchup all day? Well, I suppose you already answered that one.
Jerry.
Did you want Lava Mance in your deck at all, or were you happy without it?
Not really. Like removing the cards in my graveyard would have been a problem. Like Life from the Loam kept returning my lands. Snapcaster needed different spells. I guess removing the creatures would be okay, but every now and then that would shrink Tarmogoyf since you don't have so many in the deck in case they didn't have any. So Grim Lava Master I think Mirfolk could be hard. Since if they land a Vial, it's going to be pretty hard to stop them. Like, they just do everything out at their own pace, not yours, which is not how you want to play the game. So I didn't play against Mirfolk today. I think that's probably a deck I'd want to avoid.
Okay. Any other questions hiding out over here?
Oh yeah, definitely. We have.
How do you feel about 18 lands? Were you happy with 18 lands? Do you ever feel like you wanted any more? Or?
Honestly, playing 18 lands today felt like I was playing 24 because there were several games where I didn't miss a land drop till like turn 6, and I don't understand how that works.
A lot of people on Twitter are questioning it too, but here's another question. How about Nimble Mongoose?
That card would have sucked for me today. I did get to Threshold quite often. Unlike Delver, it doesn't fly. The Shroud is very important, but since it's going to be a 1/1 a lot of the time, you really don't want that. Like, Delver flips immediately. That's so important.
Seems like Delver just kind of outclasses that card, right?
Yeah. Like, Nimble Mongoose was good. Delver's way better in this deck.
Yeah, Delver seems absurd in this strategy. Anything else?
Keep the questions coming in. We definitely need some more for David Thomas here. Star City Games Kansas City Legacy winner.
Yeah, I think that's about it. Anything else you want to add? Anybody playing this deck should know?
It's really straightforward deck, but it's a very complicated deck to play. There are lots of small decisions you make when playing the deck that could easily screw up. Like my inexperience with the deck showed because the second time I played Jerry, I made a wrong play. When I played a Life from the Loam, I played it post combat, and I should have wastelanded him first, then Life from the Loam getting maximum value, then playing the wasteland and doing what I wanted. But that's just something I'd forgotten about. It's just making sure you do play your spells in the right order, brainstorming, putting cards back on top in the right order. It's not always correct to fetch putting back, even when you put back 2. That's pretty important. Although I will say it's been really neat having 2 Delver Secrets in play unflipped and a fetch land, and after the first one you fetch it away.
And even you just get to control your draws even with 1 Delver.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, well, I don't really want this, so I'll fetch it away.
I think a couple of times today, after revealing the card and flipping Delver, I immediately fetched because I didn't want to draw that card. So it was really good. Not only did they not know what I had drawn, like I got my 3/2.
Right.
So.
And you got something better in your hand too, potentially. Any
So,
other questions showing up on here?
Yep, we have definitely a few people asking about Fire Ice and about that's inclusion in the deck or lack of.
I don't like Fire Ice in this deck. I feel like the 1-mana removal spells are way more important, especially with a bunch of spell snares floating around. especially since the deck is landlight, and there are a lot of wastelands in the format. You want to make sure your spells are as efficient as possible in this deck. Like this deck's really about efficiency.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like. Just kind of like tempoing your opponent out.
It's all about tempo.
It definitely seems like you maximized your mana on every turn there.
Yeah, you have to, because like if you don't, like instead of if you miss tap or something, and as a result you can only play one spell as compared to two, that could cost you a game. Because then that one spell could get back in your hand, so the next turn you'll play 2 different spells.
Right, yeah, that's big.
So it could sit in your hand for a while. So
Right. So you've already talked about your worst matchup. What do you think about the best matchup for the deck?
like that's just really hard. I think the best matchup would just take more playtesting and with it, because like there are a lot of matchups that are rough, but none of them seemed just overly easy.
This seems kind of like the deck where you kind of have like, you know, a 60% matchup against a ton of decks. Like if you play well, as you were doing, you're playing really tight on camera. If you play well and you know you just take advantage of your opponent's mistakes and make good plays, you'll win a lot of the time.
Yeah, that's probably about right. It's definitely a deck that if you have exceptional play skill, like and you can play it perfectly, it'll do you really well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, anything else on there?
Do you think you could have beaten Dredge if Dredge had indeed won through the finals?
I think I could have, but that has to do with my experiences with it, not the deck's actual performance. But it's still based on draws. Like the matchup's not ideal. Like game 1, I'm still heavily favored to lose. I wanted to play against him, honestly, just to see how it would go.
I got playtesting the finals of the Open.
Yeah,
Why not?
Why not?
I mean, I don't know. Like it depends on the dredge. Like I'm a big supporter of the Lion's Eye Diamond versus dredge. It's just so much faster. So when you're just limiting yourself to the number of spells you can play a turn, and you don't have a potential turn 1, turn 2 kill, or like the percentages aren't nearly as high for the turn 2 as compared to the Lion's Eye and the normal like City of Brass. I also don't like the fact that the City of Brass is deal damage to players. That could also give me an edge in this deck, because every point of damage matters with this deck.
Yeah, totally.
So, like, if they end up dealing, like, 8 points of damage to themselves over the course of the game, I could easily win the game just by controlling small elements. So, I really want to know how the match would play out.
Right.
Surgical Extraction and Snapcaster's just insane against that deck.
Oh, yeah, if you draw 1 Extraction plus a Snapcaster, you just get to keep going.
Depending on how at what point in time you have it and when you need to play it, like, the first things I would want to hit would be, like, Dread Return or Narcoviva. Because without either of those cards, it has a hard time picking up its feet. Icarud would be a close one. Next. Bridge from Low is the worst card you can Surgical Extraction, because they still have Dread Return targets and everything.
So I think we'll do a couple more questions here. Regarding Standard, how was playing Solar Flare, and would you play it again?
I love the deck. I would definitely play it again. There are a couple of changes I would make, but the deck was really good on the day. Elish Norn overperformed in the deck.
Yeah, I saw you just crush people with that.
Yeah, that card was sick. I wish I had a second one in the sideboard. That card was insane. I would probably with the decline of red deck, I would probably lower amount in the hate. I mean, it's still there, but until it starts showing up again in large magnitudes, I'm probably just gonna not worry about it. The matchup's really rough in the first place, and timely reinforcements don't even win you the game necessarily.
Right.
So,
and there's like no red anyway.
Yeah.
So
it just might be better to reallocate those sideboard slots to other matches. Like the blue-white human match was really rough. I beat 3 of them in Swiss.
Wow.
But I lost to like it can just God curve you, and that's not something you want to happen.
Right.
So, David Judgment's really good against their deck.
Oh yeah.
And actually, the worst card, the card I feared the most on the day was Doom Traveler.
Yeah, everyone's talking about those Doom Travelers and how good they are.
It was the most annoying card I played against all day yesterday, because they would have an Honor of the Pure in play, and then 2 Doom Travelers, and I'm looking at a Day of Judgment and 4 mana. I'm like, I'm just dead.
It's like a day, they still get 2 2/2s.
Yeah, I don't have another day. It's just going to be 4 swing back, so it's just so rough. But, like, I mean, I'm not sure. I think the deck's really good. The people who played it made a really good choice for the metagame, I think. But I think the biggest problem with Solar Flare right now is no one's figured out the best build for it.
Right. Liliana, no Liliana, unburial rights, no unburial rights.
There's so many different ways you can build the deck. It's going to take a while to figure out, but I think once the correct configuration of the deck is figured out, the deck's going to be insane. So I'm not sure about whether or not it's going to be the best deck. It's still going to be tier 1, definitely.
Sure. Yeah, there's a lot of play you can do with Solar Flare. Any other big questions showing up there? Or
Looks
should we
like
go wrap it up?
That's
probably?
about it. It looks like.
All right. Well, cool. Hey, thank you so much, David Thomas. Congratulations yet again.
Thank you.
It's been fantastic having you in here. Good work.
Thank you.
Lots of fun. Congratulations,
Thank you.
man.
It's great to see you
Two
finally take it
top
down.
eights.
Will you be in Charlotte?
I'll definitely be in Charlotte. Like, there's no reason for me not to. It's such a good value tournament
Alright.
to go to.
Are you from around this area?
So I have a 13-hour drive after this.
Oh, well, you better get to that.
Definitely.
All right, David. Take care. Excellent having you in here.
Thank
See you
you.
off. Have a great night.